What's up, YouTube? We are back for another KM Spooky Corner video today. This is going to be a little bit different than my normal content. I know you're probably used to me making killer and survivor tutorials, but today I want to talk about the topic of tunneling. It's going to be a little rant video, so everybody buckle in. Now, what I want to do is go over a couple of things before we get into this video, so that way people don't immediately swipe off of it and go right into my comments raging at me. So let's go ahead and get the ground rules set up first. First things first, who I am. This is going to be my only self-promo right here throughout the video. Let's get it out of the way. Your boy's trying to grow every day. All right. First thing I'm going to say is I am a killer and survivor main. I have almost 4,000 hours in the game, mostly survivor actually. And most of my content so far is about survivor gameplay. I teach people how to loop. That's how I started making content. I love looping. I love teaching people how to do it. I think it's really fun. So check out my content if you want to get better at looping. I am also getting really heavy into the killer tutorials now. I've made a couple like Wraith, Artist, Chucky. So if you want to check out my in-depth killer guides, go check those out too. My website is kmspookycorner.com. if you want to check me out on all my socials, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram is where I'm active at. Join the Discord server if you want to talk all things DBD and hang out with some amazing people where you don't have to play solo queue and you don't have to play killer alone when there's plenty of voice channels to load it up with. I'm live on Twitch Monday through Saturday, 5 to 9 p.m. Central Time. I would love to have you in the chat so we can discuss all things DBD there. My community is pretty split, 50% survivor, 50% killer mains. So don't expect any sort of us versus them mentality. We really are a great positive community and we respect both sides equally. If you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're getting close to our 10,000 sub goal. I would really appreciate your help and support along the way. Drop your comments below, however you feel about the things that are discussed today. I can't tell you how to use your free time. I can't control you, but I just ask respectfully that you keep everything constructive, no matter what sort of criticism you're about to give me or the community. This video does not aim to increase the us versus them mentality. It aims to bring us together into an us versus us mentality, and I'll explain that later in the video. This is supposed to be positive, constructive conversation so we can move better in a more positive and enriched community environment together. So first things first, why the hell am I qualified to talk about tunneling? I am a person with thousands of hours in Dead by Daylight, and a lot of them spent on killer and survivor side, so I understand both sides literally. I'm not one of those content creators that says I play both sides and maybe has like one killer match every 10 matches. Like literally right now with my streaming schedule, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I play nothing but killer on stream for 4 hours. So trust me, I get a lot of hours in killer. And Wednesday, Friday, and a little bit of Saturday too, I play nothing but survivor. I play a lot of survivor off stream as well. I have more survivor hours than killer probably logged just right off the bat. I teach people how to loop. I understand meta. I'm a very efficient looper. I'm a very efficient killer player. I've gone against people that don't know what they're doing. They seem like day one survivors. I've gone against competitive Swifts like Angels and his survivor squad going on win streaks, so I know the pain with that. I play all killers no matter how niche or how popular they are. I play freaking Chase Hag, Scratch Mirror, Michael Myers, you know, like I do stuff like this. I know your pain. I can relate to any killer player. I play popular killers that are more meta. I play Blight with, you know, full slowdown loadout. I play Nurse. I play Ghoul. So I understand the strong killer perspective too when it comes to playing killer. So with that, you can develop your own opinion if you think I'm qualified to talk on this sort of thing and have a valid opinion. But, you know, regardless, you're still going to get the video. So good luck, partner. Part one of the video, I really want to talk about what this video isn't. Like I said, this is not rage bait. This is not a rage bait thing. This is not me shitting on survivor players. This is not me fueling killer players to, you know, hate survivors more. The end goal of this video really is to bring us together and realize how silly this is in the first place. So what I want to say is this right here. This video only aims to bring us together and to generate good conversation and ask ourselves why. Why has it gotten this bad in the community? Why is everybody so miserable? Why do people get so mad and send death threats when someone plays a certain type of way? Let's analyze that together now. I'm going to tell you about my personal journey with tunneling. In the beginning, especially as a beginner streamer, I didn't want to tunnel. Not because I thought tunneling was toxic or anything like that, just because I think I just feared more backlash of like viewers like calling me a tunneler and maybe clipping me and saying I'm like a toxic killer main. And I was like so afraid of it. And I think in my head, I associated tunneling with respect. and I wanted to respect other survivors' playing time and give them a competitive chance to play the game out with respect. And that was my biggest mistake when I first started playing Killer, you know. So I played by pretty much every made-up rule in the book. I didn't tunnel. If you got unhooked, I always went for the person that wasn't freshly unhooked. I didn't camp. I didn't proxy camp. I didn't slug. You know, I used to, every time I was about to win, I used to let the last survivor go and be nice. The amount of times I've turned the other cheek, you know, when a survivor messed up, where they somehow found me when they were injured and right off the hook, or they touched a generator in front of my face after being unhooked and got rid of all their unhook protections. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to go for them. I'm going to be nice. Well, needless to say, I'm done being nice now. I think after playing through the recent meta of DBD and seeing how, you know, angry people can get in the event, bro, and just how bad it can get in the event too, like, it really just broke me as a person, honestly, to where I just don't give a shit anymore. I'm not playing nice. I'm not playing by any sort of made up rules. If you make a mistake, you're getting punished for it. That's all I'm going to say. If I find you and you're the first person I find and I have no information on anyone else and you're on death hook already, congrats. You're going to be out of the match early. That's it. And I've noticed that the higher my MMR has climbed on the Killer side, the more I have to tunnel just to win matches. I've been in some matches where everybody has hooks and it's down to like the last gen. And I just tell my chat straight up, I have to tunnel this person. I have no other way of winning the game. These guys are very efficient on callouts. They're very efficient perk-wise. They're running meta. I have to do this to get it done. I'm on a bad map. And getting those early tunnels, or just tunnels in general, has led me to a lot more success rate playing Killer and a lot more wins too, honestly. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're just trying to play as efficiently as possible when it comes to playing Killer. And I think about all the thousands of hours I played this game playing nice and playing by this made-up rulebook. You know, not once did I ever get thanked for it. I've never been thanked one time in the endgame chat. I've never been thanked before in my personal chat. No one has ever said thank you for ignoring them, for not tunneling them. No one has ever said, hey, you could have easily tunneled me right here when I ran into you because I wasn't paying attention, but thank you for not doing it. Not once. And the amount of times I've thrown games being nice by ignoring the correct macro decisions to punish bad survivor macro play, I've thrown so many games doing that. And I look back and I'm like, why did I waste my time doing this? I also personally think that by us playing Killer and ignoring mistakes that survivors make is only fueling the incentive that we are supposed to play a certain type of way. Imagine this, right? It's just numbers. If 100% of Killer players always punish survivors' mistakes and they get tunneled because of it, that's going to be the only narrative. And survivors are only going to have to think about, oh, you know, this is it. 100% of the time, if we make mistakes, killers are going to take advantage and they're going to win and they're going to kill us out of the game. Now, split that in half. Say 50% of Killer players punish, 50% turn the other cheek and play nice. Now survivors are torn with, well, how come you tunneled me when I made a bad macro play, but the other Killer didn't? Now I feel some type of way about this. Now I feel like you're an asshole and the other guy's nicer. That's why I think that is just not good practice either. And then now imagine 0% of the time Killer players never punish bad survivor decisions. Now it is expected of you to never punish a bad macro decision, and that can lead to a lot of very strong opinions from the survivor player base. So I'm not playing nice anymore. If I find you and you're getting tunneled, it is what it is. If you want to complain about it, go ahead. I'm doing it because I want to win. There is no morality and emotion tied to tunneling. And that's the thing we need to do as Killer players to hold ourselves accountable, is we need to tell people, you know, any angry endgame chat message, any angry personal message through DMs, any angry survivor in your chat if you're a streamer, just tell them, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry you're mad. I tunneled you because I want to win the game. That's it, bro. I don't care who you are. I don't know who you are. It's not personal one bit. It's all business, partner. I tunneled you because that is the most effective way to win in Dead by Daylight. The sooner we make that the narrative for everyone to hear over and over and over again, then the sooner we can hopefully start to get people that are just like, you know, maybe the Killer is not toxic because he tunneled. Maybe he just really wants to win the game. You know what I mean? I really think that's what we can do as our part to keep a better narrative going forward about tunneling. It's just business, bro. There ain't no ounce of personal about it. I mean, sometimes you could probably argue with me that it is personal. Like maybe you got tunneled because you're a streamer or maybe you got tunneled because you played a certain survivor, or because you played a certain type of way, like with head-on and flashbangs and stuff like that. Those situations are very niche and are such a big spectrum that I can't even begin to have that discussion with you. If that happens to you, then you just gotta reflect and just kind of move on with it. I'm talking 99% of the normal matches where a killer tunnels for pressure and to win. That's it. Those niche situations are something totally different, man. And honestly, for me, especially as a streamer, when I started just telling my community, like, hey, I'm just gonna start tunneling now because I want to win. It's nothing weird. It's not that I have this superiority complex. It's not that I'm trying to BM these survivors. I just do it because it's the proper macro play. I'm telling you, every time I tunnel on live stream, no one gives a damn. It's gotten to the point now where on my TikTok chat and my Twitch chat, no one gives a shit. And when I have a random viewer watching me that says, why are you a tunneler? You're an L tunneler. You know what people tell them in the chat now? They're like, shut up, you're annoying. You know what I mean? So it really is just the narrative that you create. People in my chat now defend me when I tunnel and they say, why do you play by made up rules, bro? Why are you being weird? So I really think as a community of all the player base in Dead by Daylight, I think we can do it together. And we can start to separate the people that associate tunneling with toxicity and negativity. We can let them go cry it out in the corner, right? You go do your own thing. For some reason, you feel like this is emotional and you feel like this is like some sort of weird personal vendetta against you. And the rest of us can move on and understand that this game is fundamentally flawed, especially on the balancing side. And sometimes killers got to do what they got to do to win. Because that's really all it comes down to, is tunneling is just the best strategy to win on killer. That's it. It ain't nothing else. It ain't nothing personal, bro. Get over yourself. And the same thing when I play Survivor. If I get hard tunneled by a ghoul at 5 gens, I don't ever say, damn, that ghoul's a loser. What a sweaty tunneler. I look at myself and my teammates and I said, why am I getting tunneled at 5 gens? What did I do wrong? And watching back in my VOD, I can probably analyze 1,000 of my own mistakes of what I did wrong to get tunneled out of the match. Or my teammates. Did my teammates unhook me too early? Did my teammates not take a protection hit? Am I running any anti-tunneling perks? Nope. Okay, then my validation to complain really doesn't even make sense at that point. You know what I mean? Is anybody running Shoulder the Burden? Who's running We're Gonna Live Forever so we don't get slugged out at 5 gens? Are we pressuring gens? If I'm looping for 2 or 3 minutes while I'm getting tunneled and no one's on gens, of course we're not going to win the match. You know what I mean? I think a lot of the complaint about tunneling on the Survivor side is deflection and coping. And it's not asking yourself personally, what did I do wrong? Or what did my teammates do wrong? The amount of times I've had someone get unhooked in front of my face and I tunnel them out of the match and I don't go for the person unhooking them. And they, for some reason, want to complain to me that I'm the bad guy. And then I tell them, why did your teammate unhook in front of my face? They basically served you on a silver platter to me. Why are you not holding your teammates accountable? It's because it's so much easier to have an us versus them deflection mentality than to actually hold ourselves accountable. Hold yourself accountable on the survivor side. On the killer side, hold yourself accountable too. Don't be that type of person that complains about survivors running meta. Of course survivors are going to run meta. Of course they're going to run Shoulder the Burden. Of course they're going to run Decisive Strike because behavior gave them these tools to use it. When I play Survivor on and off stream, I do the same shit. I run meta, I run Shoulder, I run Wigliff. Sometimes I'll run OTR, Deliverance, and Decisive Strike all together because it's a busted combo. Don't hate the player, hate the game on both sides, y'all. Killer and Survivor. And especially from the killer side too, we need to do a better job of not complaining like, oh, I tunneled you because you're toxic, or I tunneled you because you had a certain build, or I tunneled you because you went for a flashlight save. The less we give people ammo to throw it back in our face, and we only give one set answer of I tunneled to win, that's it. It's not personal. If you take it personal, that's on you. The sooner we can move past all these shenanigans, bro, and people can realize that this is just a stupid conversation to begin with. Unwritten rules about pixels on a screen is absolutely insane to me, and Dead by Daylight has one of the worst communities for this. I played League of Legends for 10 years, bro. 10 years. I have over 10,000 hours in that game. If I'm on the top lane and the jungle wants to repeatedly gank my lane, the enemy jungler, to try to ruin my lead, and I end up being 0-3 because I keep getting spam ganked by the jungle, it's a good macro play because they're seeing I'm the weak lane and they want their side to be stronger. I don't go complaining about it and say the jungler's toxic. It's just a good macro decision to ruin one lane so the others can benefit. That's it. This is the only game I've ever seen where people are like, nope, it has to be something personal. This guy had a bad day at work. This guy's a loser. No, it doesn't. It's a video game, bro. We need to hold ourselves accountable on both sides and not tie emotion to any of this. Unless you can prove to me that this person tunneled you because of X, Y, and Z, very, very personal reasons, and I get it. I'm sorry it happened to you, but those are also very rare situations too. Make sure we're not hitting people on the hook killers, make sure we're not WSing, make sure we're not giving people any sort of reason to fuel the fire of why it's us versus them at all. At the end of the day, it's pressure, macro decision making. That's it. I want to win. You want to win. You're going to run 4, meta builds with shoulder and decisive and dead hard. I'm going to tunnel because that's my most effective meta strategy. I'm going to run 3 or 4 slowdown perks because that's my most effective strategy. That's it, dude. It's business at the end of the day. When it comes to playing Survivor, and solo queue is kind of a lost cause unless they really look how to fix it with proper, maybe in-game call out actions through a scrolling wheel or adding comps to the game. Solo queue, I'm sorry. Things are just a shit show there. Don't get me wrong, you can still do your part and play efficiently. But I understand in solo queue, it's pretty easy to get tunneled out of matches and for things to go wrong. But we need to hold each other accountable. Whenever I play off stream and on stream, in Swift, not in Swift, I'm always asking, why did you unhook me so quickly? Why did you unhook me when the killer is literally running towards us? Why did you try to heal me under the hook and give away our position? That's the things we need to do. I ask myself, if I get hard tunneled at 5 gens, why did I not bring Decisive Strike this game? I could have prevented this. Why did I touch a generator in the killer's terror radius and lose my protections? Self-reflection instead of deflection goes a long way in this game. When I first started playing Survivor in this game, I was so tired of getting tunneled out of every match at like 5 gens. But it's because I sucked. It's because I didn't know how to loop. I couldn't look behind myself and chase. I never greeted pallets. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I started watching content. I became such an effective looper that now I teach people how to loop. And my gameplay has just skyrocketed. I almost never get tunnel now because killers can't chase me because they're going to lose the game. Their chases are going longer than 45 seconds, so they give up on me. I decided to make myself better, and now I can't even keep killers' attention because I'm so effective at looping. And that's the biggest thing I want to teach people is if you just played the game properly, don't waste time. Don't be silly. Don't stealth around the map. Stop going for a million flashlight saves every game. Everybody should be on gens. Everybody should be on separate gens. And when you're in chase, you need to get better at looping. You need to watch content. You need to watch streamers. You need to study your VODs. That's going to make you a better player. If you complain about getting tunneled and you pre-drop every pallet and you don't even look behind you and chase, I don't feel bad because you're not doing the part to make yourself a better player. Once you make yourself a better player, I promise you most of these issues really are going to go away. Instead of begging behavior and begging the other side to play a certain way so you seem better, don't do that. Trust me, this self-help journey of getting a better player by yourself and becoming a better player is going to help you tremendously. Please check out my content. I will teach you how to loop any map in the game. I will teach you good macro versus bad macro against certain killers. And that's all it comes down to. Being knowledgeable of your maps, your tiles, and your killer power you're going against is super important. I understand this game is not new player friendly, but latch on to content creators like myself and others that teach new players, and you're just gonna have a better experience instead of just getting mad that you got tunneled. And on the Survivor side, I've been against it, bro. I've been against knights that refuse to hook and only want a 4-man slug and BMU on the floor the whole match. I've gone against Nurse, Blight, and Ghoul players that are trying to go for these crazy win streaks, and I get hard tunneled at the beginning of the match. On Killer, I've gone against Angels and his Swift and gotten my ass kicked and gotten like 2 hook states the whole game because they are just so fucking good and they actually know what they're doing. I understand the pain of both sides. Please don't complain that I am biased in any sort of way. Don't do that, bro. The sooner we can come together and talk about the real issue, which is the gameplay balance itself is the issue. Behavior is the issue. The developers are the issue. Why are there perks in the game that exist that fundamentally break the game? Why is Shoulder the Burden not nerfed? How come the Nurse is still, in my opinion, overpowered and can do these crazy things and just obliterate Swifts? You know what I mean? Like, why are there weak killers in the game? Why is Ghostface so unplayable that I have to tunnel to play him just to have a chance at winning, just for the survivors to complain and moan in the endgame chat? That's not a you issue, that's a behavior issue. The sooner we unite sides and we go to behavior and demand better gameplay mechanics, better balancing, better nerfs and buffs kind of systems and reworks, the better we're going to have an experience playing this game. If you give killers the tools they need to properly play the game, where it just makes most sense to not tunnel, you're going to do what benefits you the most to win. So if they make a game that's perfectly balanced and incentivizes not tunneling to win, there we go. We're not going to tunnel anymore. For the survivor side, you know, I don't even blame y'all for running the strongest perks in the game, because I do the same shit and they're broken. Shoulder the burden, we're going to live forever, deliverance, decisive strike, off the record. Like, that shit is just good and strong. But I think we need to look at them on a balancing perspective and say, why do these perks even exist? Why is Vigil so overtuned? Why is Sprint Burst so strong? And I'm not going to get too much into perks. I'll leave that for another video later. This is more about tunneling than anything in my experience with it. But let me know in the comments what you think of this video. Let me know what you think about tunneling. Let me know your opinion on my take. Like I said, I can't control y'all. I already know the hate's coming. But just let me know in the most positive and constructive way possible how you feel about tunneling and how we can fix it as a community going forward. Both killer mains and survivor mains, I want to know your side. I play both. I think tunneling is a strategy. I think it's silly that we ever tied it to some sort of weird emotional thing, that it's a personal, you know, vendetta against somebody. I play both sides. I feel the pain of both sides. Me personally, I don't give a shit anymore. I'm tunneling. I'm not playing nice. I'm not playing by no made up rules just to get, you know, BM'd anyways for it, regardless. And that's the biggest thing too, is people, if they're gonna complain, they're gonna complain regardless. If they win, they're gonna win in a salty way. If they lose, they're gonna lose in a salty way. So just control your own fun. That's all you can do. And then hopefully we can come together with positive, constructive, you know, conversation, killer and survivor mains, and we can hold the almighty behavior accountable, and they can hopefully fix this game for us, right? Well, I mean, it can dream, I guess. Thank you so much for watching. Again, I'm live on Twitch Monday through Saturday, 5 to 9 p.m. Central Time. If you like the content, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I post looping tutorials and killer tutorials, so check out my content if you want to get better at either side. I also post a lot of gameplay VODs showcasing builds and just fun, you know, streamer interaction videos. So whatever you need, and hopefully I'll see you in the chat sometime, and peace out, everybody.